An unlikely success story in football was that of Didier Agathe. After leaving the French island territory of La Réunion as a teenager, Agathe joined the youth academy at Montpellier. His spell at the club was largely snakebit. His appendix burst shortly after arriving, as the medical team had failed to notice he was suffering from appendicitis upon arrival. He needed a 6-hour, life-saving operation after his appendix exploded, which caused him to lose 12 kilograms in just a single week. A hereditary condition meant he had no cartilage whatsoever in his right knee. It was just purely bone on bone. Doctors told him this meant his professional football career was over before he was even 25 years old. He hit the bottle to try and deal with the depression he was suffering after receiving the news, which led to him falling asleep at the wheel of his car one Sunday morning and flipping the car, once again almost causing him his life. During his recovery from this incident, he decided he wanted to give football another chance away from France, and to help make up his mind where, Agathe took out a map, flipped a coin, and decided wherever the coin landed on the map, he'd move there. The coin landed on England. Agathe gathered his belongings and moved to England, impressing enough during a trial at Stockport to receive a contract offer, only to fail his medical due to the knee issue. At this point, Agathe was put in contact with Scottish agent Willie Mackay, whose clients over the years included the likes of Scott Brown, James McFadden, Joey Barton and Scott MacDonald. The agent suggested Agathe try his luck north of the border in Scotland. Raith Rovers had lost their opening 4 games of the 1999-2000 season in the second tier of Scottish football and badly needed a striker. That was not the position Agathe played at the time, but he told manager John McVeigh otherwise, and impressed enough in a bounce game that he earned himself a contract at Starks Park. Around this same time, the movie A Shot of Glory, starring Robert Duvall and on-screen debut from everybody's favourite totally not putting it on cheeky chappy Ally McCoist, was being filmed across Scotland. They needed some extras, and so Agathe ended up playing the role of a Rangers player in the film, ironic considering where his career would end up. In total, Agathe made 30 appearances for Raith that season, scoring 7 goals.
Frenchman Didier Agathe is impressed in his short time in the Scottish game, so much so Rovers have already turned down 2 offers from other clubs. His pace and finishing ability will keep him in demand. It's surely a question just of how long Rovers can hold on to him. His goal completing a good day's work.
Didier, you must be pleased to score another goal again this afternoon. That's now 5.
Yes, I'm very happy for the team, for me and for the supporter. Yes, I'm very happy.
And are you happy the way things are turning out for you with Raith Rovers?
Yes, I'm happy to play for Raith Rovers. Yes, because it's a good club. I'm happy, yes.
In the summer of 2000, Hibs gave Agathe a short-term 6-month contract with the top-flight Easter Road side. In just 6 appearances, Agathe scored 4 goals, with his electric pace catching the eye of newly appointed Celtic manager Martin O'Neill.
18 minutes later, Hibs were 2 ahead. A sensational free kick by Soze, Agathe on the near post. Hibs and Agathe on fire, but what a free kick this is.
As his contract was soon expiring, it cost Celtic just a fee of £27,000 to bring Agathe to the club. When O'Neill first picked up the phone to call him, Agathe thought it was too good to be true and rejected the call, but O'Neill persevered, convinced him it was real, and the transfer was soon completed. The club spotted the issue with Agathe's knee that had prevented his move to Stockport the year before, with Agathe explaining, "I went for my medical and they spotted my knee straight away. But Martin said, 'Don't worry, it's not a problem.' He did the same with John Hartson too, who had problems with his back, and I signed that day." Agathe made his debut in a 2-0 victory over St Mirren in the league in October 2000, playing on the wide right of the 3-5-2 formation O'Neill had implemented upon his arrival at Celtic. Despite playing as a striker for Raith and Hibs, It was never his natural position, and the role of right wing back was simply made for Didier Agathe.
If we had been delighted with O'Neill's acquisition so far, the debut of Agathe against St Mirren surpassed that. His pace alone was well worth the 10 bob he paid for him. Well, in today's transfer money, it was about that.
I think I proved myself with Hibernian and started to do well with them. But Celtic is a big club and I think everybody would like to play this team.
Larson, Agathe comes in. Can he put it away? Once again, opened up there by Larson. He did everything right. And the crowd were willing him to put this in the back of the net.
I not believe the first time, but after, when the manager found, it's okay.
Winning the Man of the Match award for his debut performance, O'Neill would rave in his post-game interview. He was absolutely brilliant, fantastic even. I did not think he would last more than 60 minutes, but he has so much strength and pace. And above everything else, that's what Agathe brought to the team. Pace. He was unbelievably fast, by far the quickest player in the squad immediately upon arrival. He became a regular starter from there on out as Celtic completed the domestic treble in that 2000-2001 season. At the start of the following season, Agathe exploded onto the scene on the European stage in spectacular fashion. Celtic travelled to Amsterdam to take on Ajax in a Champions League qualifier, with the Dutch Giants being firm favourites. However, Agathe's pace and directness terrified the Dutch side as Celtic recorded a shock 3-1 away win, with Agathe getting in on the goal scoring.
Larson. Drilled ball to Agathe. He's away from Shivu. Didier Agathe has scored! It's 2-0 Celtic! 19 minutes gone. Superb pass from Larson. Then it was down to sheer pace and precision on the finish. Groom beaten for a second time.
Over the next few years, Agathe would proceed to terrorise some of Europe's top sides with his electric pace, including putting in a great performance in Celtic's first ever Champions League group stage game against Juventus. On the road to Seville, Didier Agathe played a key role during Celtic's path to the UEFA Cup final, racking up plenty of assists. Then, in the final itself, he played a beautiful deep cross into the box for Henrik Larsson to head home Celtic's first equaliser just 2 minutes into the second half.
Se trouve l'égalisation. Au départ, une balle jouée dans l'axe sur Sutton, comme souvent le cas, Henrik Larsson. Ballon qui va revenir sur le côté droit en direction de Didier Agathe, qui fixe son adversaire. Long débordement et centre du Réunionnais pour la tête de Henrik Larsson. Un but partout à la 47e minute. Le match est relancé. Explication.
C'est vrai que nous on est toujours en course pour le titre alors qu'ils ont déjà gagné le titre. C'est vrai qu'ils ont eu à peu près 2 ou 3 semaines pour préparer alors que nous on avait vraiment une petite semaine. On est arrivé ici dimanche, et heureusement d'ailleurs parce qu'il fait très chaud ici. C'est vrai que moi ça va, mais mes collègues ils ont quand même du mal sur le soleil, donc le fait de venir très tôt ici ça nous a fait du bien.
Outre les 3 frangins, Michel, l'ex-arbitre, dont la réputation a largement dépassé aujourd'hui le quartier de Casabona, René et Robert, qui lorsqu'ils étaient défenseurs à la Saint-Pierroise ne voulaient même pas laisser passer ceux qui n'étaient plus en possession du ballon. La délégation réunionnaise qui prend ici possession des fameux billets d'entrée. Sur cette image, les 3 meilleurs joueurs du match. Deco, le numéro 10 portugais, la future star du football mondial, que se disputent déjà les plus grands clubs européens. Henrik Larsson, le numéro 7, le leader du Celtic. Et Didier Agathe, sur qui le journaliste du journal L'Équipe a écrit après le match ceci: le Français fut le seul milieu de terrain du Celtic à proposer autre chose que des passes évidentes, et cela malgré une grosse activité défensive. Le FC Porto qui a mieux terminé la première période en inscrivant un but par...
That night ended in heartbreak, but Agathe was part of a side that had truly etched their place in the Celtic history. His strong performances in Europe continued over the next few seasons, and Agathe was once tasked with man-marking Ronaldinho in a 2004 UEFA Cup tie against Barcelona. He somehow managed to do what so few others in world football could do at the time and help keep Ronaldinho at bay as Celtic won 1-0 on the night and held on at the Nou Camp to progress. These showings didn't go unnoticed. His performances earned links with Juventus and Valencia, with the former even said to have made a bid that Celtic rebuked. Agathe would state, "The opportunity was there for me on 2 or 3 occasions, but Celtic changed their mind at the last minute. There was a deal done to take me to Valencia, and I thought this was cut and dried. As for Juventus, I had actually organised my house move." Instead, he remained in Glasgow and was even in with a shout of a call-up to the French national team. Martin O'Neill suggested he should be called up for the 2002 World Cup squad, but when this never arrived, the possibility of Agathe playing for another national team was explored instead. Then Scotland national side manager Bertie Votes expressed interest in getting Agathe to switch allegiances in 2003, stating, "He needs a UK passport first. After that, I will definitely have a talk with him." Agathe was interested, saying, "Who knows? My teammates have been calling me Didier Agathe. I just have to think about it. It's not an easy decision for me, but it's a great honour. A lot of things have happened for me in Scotland, but I still have to think about changing my nationality. It's not something that is easy to do. I wasn't born in France, but I am French. It is a big thing to change your nationality, and it is a very big decision that I will have to think about. However, I don't have to make it now because Scotland are not in Euro 2004. This would allow me to play in the World Cup if France don't call me up, but I won't rush my decision." In the end, UEFA rules never changed as rumoured, so Agathe never had the opportunity to play for Scotland. Despite all of his memorable games for Celtic, one stands out above all others for Agathe, and it isn't one that will spring to mind quickly for any fans. It was a 1-0 win away to Aberdeen in the SPL in April 2001. Why? Well, Agathe would explain, "I was with a Scottish girl at the time and was really in love with her. The day or day before every game, the team would get together for a walk with Martin, and when I went to join everyone, I got some very funny looks. I wondered what was going on. Then I saw that I was big news as my relationship with a stripper was in the Sunday Mail. It killed me. This was the morning of the game. We went for our walk and everyone was talking about it. Martin came to ask if I was okay. Of course, I said I was okay, but he knew I was lying. Inside, I was destroyed. Martin told me that he needed me to play striker that afternoon as Chris Sutton was injured. I said that was fine, and I scored the only goal of the game. When you see Martin's reaction when I scored, it was unbelievable because he knew what I was going through. Tough break, Didier."
Just have had their injury problems obviously this season. Still can't take anything away from O'Neill's achievements. Now Didier Agathe, he turns, he scores! A breakthrough for Celtic, and they are closing in on the Scottish Premier League title.
Well, he hasn't been in the game, Ian, but what a contribution to make when it really mattered by Didier Agathe.
When Martin O'Neill departed as Celtic manager in 2005, Agathe's playing time drastically decreased. New manager Gordon Strachan needed to freshen up the squad, and similar to long-term teammates such as Chris Sutton and Alan Thompson, Agathe was viewed as someone of the previous era. His contract with Celtic was mutually terminated in February 2006 to allow him to try and find another club. In total, Didier Agathe made 183 appearances for Celtic, scoring 11 goals and winning 3 SPL titles, 3 Scottish Cups and 1 League Cup.
Lambert swings it in. There's Varga towards Agathe! That's the equaliser! Didier Agathe!
It would take until September 2006 before Agathe found a new club, linking back up with former manager Martin O'Neill at Aston Villa. The sad truth was that by this point, even though he was still aged just 31, his long-term knee injury problems had caught up with him, and his electric pace just wasn't what it used to be. With a player like Agathe, whose game is so centred around his quickness, once that goes, the career tends to go into decline. He made just 6 appearances for Villa, all of them off the substitutes bench before being released just 4 months after joining. This marked the end of Didier Agathe's unlikely playing career. Against all odds, Agathe made it to such a high level in the game. His prime was undoubtedly those years at Celtic, and he appreciated every single moment of it, stating, "I can't explain the feeling I had playing for Celtic. I was like a child. I felt like I was dreaming, especially when we played in the Champions League. I always knew how lucky I was to be there. My first motivation was, give your best and make people happy." In recent years, Japanese forward Daisen Maeda has had a good run at becoming the first Celtic player to match Didier Agathe for pace, but in his prime, Agathe was something special. He was part of an unforgettable time at Celtic and will always be remembered fondly by the fans.